chord. Hey guys, what's up? How you doing? I'm doing good, thanks for asking. I want to talk to you about creating uplifting, awesome sounding guitar riffs. And I think there's a lot of ways you can do this and a lot of guitar players you can take inspiration from on this topic, but I'm going to kind of create a riff through this video and show you what I'm thinking, so that way you can take what I say and either throw it in the garbage or use some of it, use all of it, whatever works for you. So the first thing that really gets my blood flowing, that really gets me pumped up when I'm trying to write something uplifting is the guitar tone. So as you can hear, I have a nice dirty organic sounding crunch that is all thanks to this awesome guitar, PRS. Can't go wrong, of course. I am a PRS fanboy. So I have my bridge pickup on, just tone, volume all cranked up. Just playing a nice D chord. Like I said, this is like my favorite chord. I got the A ring in the bass there. I could play that chord all day. So I also have a little bit of delay on there for added atmosphere. So first step, get a nice tone that you're comfortable with that really just makes you smile when you play it. After that, it's time to construct the riff itself, which I always start writing riffs unless something just comes to me in my head. I like hear something, I'm like, oh, I know exactly what this riff is gonna be. I kind of start with chords and then begin to embellish the chord progression from there. So I thought about this a little bit. The reason I started making this video was because I played these chords. So obviously, I'm sure every classic rock song ever written has included those chords at one point or another. It's mine. You can't copyright chords, you can't copyright harmony, so I don't feel bad about having a more generic sounding chord progression because it's what I'm about to do to it, the embellishments to create the riff that will make it my own. So I've just got a D chord, then a C chord of some kind. All these open strings are ringing, and then I move it down to the B. So in case you want to play along or something, those are the chords that I'm working with. So now that I have those chords, that I'm pumped up, I'm amped, yeah! I want to turn this into some kind of piece of music. So there is a couple ways you can approach it. The way I'm going to start with this is a rhythm. So I'm going to establish a tempo, establish a rhythm, and get a real rockin' riff happening. So something like this. So I have that kind of start-stop thing to really emphasize that delay happening in the background. I like that effect. You know what I'm saying? I just really think that's epic and uplifting to have that kind of washing over. So that's what's going on in my head. Now that I have this tempo set up, I want to play something that is a little bit unique, right? I don't just want to stick to chords. I want to move into a more creative realm. So a way you can do this is to have little filler riffs in between where those empty spaces are that I left. So you don't necessarily have to do this throughout the chord progression, but I'll show you an example of adding in a little filler. So I'm really just pulling from an F major triad. Because that sets up this D. So you can use theory to establish that, or you can just use your ear. I just used my ear. I kind of heard that in my head, but upon looking at it, I understood why it sounded the way it did. That's just a really awesome kind of progression, 1 to 6. So I think between the riff that we have now, we have essentially 90% of it done as far as I'm concerned. So I'm going to kind of copy and paste this idea, meaning I'm going to again insert another riff that I hear, kind of like a little bridge, a little embellishment to get from this first part of the riff to some kind of resolution. So I do like the fact that I'm going, but I'm gonna have to, you know, have some kind of turnaround, I think, or at least I want to. So instead of, let's try, you know, something like that. That's cool. Right out of the D pentatonic. So maybe. So that motion is kind of compelling me to, like I want to hit that, maybe something in a higher register, so kind of like that. There we go. So just another triad. So I'm figuring this out on the fly. As I can see here, if I'm using my music theory to figure out what I'm exactly playing, I have an F sharp, I have an A, and a D. So it's just a D triad. So it works. D, C. It's just a different voicing. This is why I love triads so much. If you've seen any of my other videos, it's just a great way to differentiate your playing and really spice up otherwise limiting chords down here towards the end of the neck. So we have in total, let's see if I can get this. So as you could hear there, I think we might need one more little piece of this riff to really complete it. Seems like we need some kind of turnaround. Again, I know that I'm in this kind of D major tonality. So really a basic theory thing is a turnaround chord is like the 5 chord. So in this case it would be A. But I've also included this kind of flat 3 F tonality as you remember from this F triad. So I'm gonna include that too, I think, in the turnaround, because that's always like a badass kind of. So I think maybe something like. Yeah. So I think we've got our riff now, right? Let's put it together and see what happens.